Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 action movie characters who survived bullet hell. For this list, we'll be going over the characters from action films who managed to make it out of crazy shootouts alive. To be clear, they can't be immune to bullets like the Terminator or die soon afterwards of their wounds. Watch out for some spoilers ahead. If there's an action star whose miraculous survival we miraculously forgot, take action below in the comments. Number 10, Corbin Dallas, The Fifth Element. While this former Special Forces soldier has plenty of experience and skill, luck was definitely more on his side in this scene. When a group of aliens attack a concert Corbin is attending, he's severely outgunned.
Don't worry, sir. I know my man. He'll calm things down.
He's just got one gun, and they're all packing automatic weapons and a turret with rockets.
Oh my God. Corbin Dallas, my man. Corbin Dallas is in trouble.
Somehow he manages to avoid being severely injured by their tons of ammunition. Despite running out of bullets and having some severely unhelpful bystanders, Corbin manages to get his hands on one of their weapons. He's able to turn the tides and gun down the aliens in the room while using an explosive to blow up the rest. Admittedly, Ruby Rhod also helped a little between screams. Number 9, John Preston, Equilibrium.
Not without incident.
After being restricted by the fascist dystopian society he long served, John Preston escapes his bonds and decides to use his particular set of skills to take it down from the top. His skill set involves using guns and spatial awareness to essentially become a human weapon aimed at them. When Preston is faced with a hallway full of goons armed with assault rifles, he uses gun kata to dance his way through them all. This scene features awesomely over-the-top action and incredibly cool reloading moments. There's barely a wrinkle in his crisp white suit by the end of the sequence. Is this unlikely? Maybe. However, it made for one amazing action sequence. Number 8, John Wick and Sharon. John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
What do you need? Guns. Lots of guns.
If anyone can make it through bullet hell, Baba Yaga, or rather the one you sent to kill said boogeyman, can. When a heavily armed and armored hit squad assaults a hotel for hitmen, John Wick has to play defense with Sharon and their allies.
You, Jonathan, do what you do best.
What's that?
Hunt.
This impossibly badass duo are basically the only ones left standing to take on these grim odds. Both Wick and Sharon have to constantly take cover and have to find a way to get around the body armor their enemies wear. But once the duo find weaknesses and get armor-piercing equipment, their opponents don't stand much of a chance. Tightly choreographed and thrilling throughout, this shootout is a perfect illustration of why John Wick and Sharon are legends. Number 7, Nicholas Angel and Danny Butterman, Hot Fuzz. Sergeant Nicholas Angel discovers that the Neighborhood Watch Alliance of the sleepy town of Sanford is behind a sinister plot. So he loads up on weapons and takes the fight to them.
Morning.
After a tense standoff, a lot of bullets start flying. It turns out that the Neighborhood Watch is packing a lot more heat than you'd expect.
That's what I'm talking about.
Angel and his partner Danny Butterman somehow manage to take down all the pensioners, raining hot lead at them from all sides. The duo manages to not only survive all the bullets flying their way, but they also avoid racking up tons of casualties. Like the rest of the film, this sequence is a well-crafted and hilarious blend of action and comedy.
You're a doctor. Deal with it.
Number 6, John McClane, Die Hard. For an ordinary cop in the wrong place at the wrong time, John McClane actually does a damn fine job of fighting off a slew of villains that take over Nakatomi Plaza. When he's ambushed by Hans Gruber's men, he has to scramble to find cover as they riddle his hiding place with bullets. McClane manages to take down several of his opponents before getting stuck behind cover in an office. Unfortunately, after Gruber remembers he's barefoot, the villain asks his henchmen to
shoot the glass.
Although John's feet don't escape this encounter unscathed, it's still impressive that his entire self made it out of this tough situation at all. Number 5. Sherlock Holmes and Company. Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadows. After Sherlock Holmes is rescued from a factory, he makes his escape with friends into a nearby forest and heads for an approaching train. Unfortunately, their enemies have access to a lot of weapons. Sebastian Moran and the rest of Moriarty's men unload a literal arsenal on the fleeing detective and the rest of his party. Mortars, bombs, bullets, and all manner of projectiles rain down on them as they flee through the forest. Their frantic escape is gorgeously directed and makes expert use of slow motion to show how close they came to death. It's frankly miraculous that any of the heroes made it out of this explosive and stunning sequence. Number 4. Inspector Tequila Yuen Ho Yan, Hard-Boiled. The hard-boiled policeman Inspector Tequila is incredibly skilled with firearms. That's probably part of why he and his partner Benny are sent to bust gun smugglers in a tea shop. When they make moves to intervene, a wild gunfight breaks out. Dozens of innocent bystanders and Tequila's partner are slain when authorities and rival gangs trade shots. Fortunately, the hard-boiled detective has 2 guns that he knows how to use extremely well. He manages to shoot his way out of an intense melee where bullets can come from any direction. At one point, Tequila fires accurate shots while sliding down a staircase railing. We think he deserves a promotion and a vacation. Number 3. Judge Dredd. Dredd. During a crime investigation, Judge Dredd and his partner Anderson are locked inside a gigantic indoor complex and hunted by a gang that's led by the sadistic Mama. When sending individual thugs after the pair proves ineffective, she goes big.
Fire!
Mama sets up 3 massive Gatling cannons and opens fire on the entire floor where Dredd and Anderson are. Tons of residents are injured or worse in crossfire that turns apartment walls into Swiss cheese. Despite the massively unfair odds, Dredd, Anderson, and their prisoners somehow make it out of the way of Mama's initial volley. They're eventually forced to blow a hole in the wall and escape to an outside balcony. Fortunately, he's able to keep fighting and get satisfying revenge. Number 2. John Matrix, Commando. After his daughter is kidnapped by a former dictator, retired Special Forces Colonel John Matrix gears up and assaults the compound where she's being held. Although he has a lot of enemies in his way, he's essentially a one-man army. Matrix walks through a hail of gunfire from every soldier in the compound while wearing barely any protection. His absurdly high accuracy allows him to mow down everybody in his path. And when they manage to corner him in a shed and shoot it up, Matrix still survives and takes enemies out with gardening tools. We should have known that the gloriously over-the-top Commando would feature a ridiculous shootout like this. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Frank Moses, Red. Shouldn't baddies know not to try and kill Bruce Willis by now? Travis Walker and Beck, The Rundown. The power of dual-wielding shotguns and The Rock cannot be denied. Eli and Solara, The Book of Eli. While an old couple and their house are obliterated, the two main characters make it through.
Hey, you know that voice you heard? Did it say anything about this?
You'll get out alive, both of us. What about us? Didn't mention you.
Jack Slater, Last Action Hero. Schwarzenegger makes stunt driving in a convertible and beating bad guys look effortless.
You're driving with no hands.
I think it's easy if you practice a lot and never ever do it in heavy traffic.
Nathan Algren, The Last Samurai. It's amazing anyone survived a final charge against a firing line.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Neo and Trinity, The Matrix.
So what do you need besides a miracle?
Guns. Lots of guns.
In order to rescue their friend Morpheus in The Matrix, Neo and Trinity arrive at the building where he's being held with an abundance of firearms.
Holy shit.
They need every weapon because they are both outnumbered by guards that have lots of firearms of their own.
Freeze!
The ensuing gunfight gave us one of the most awesome action scenes ever filmed. Thanks to a combination of great camera work and slow motion, we can see the heroes take down every opponent that dares to stand in their way. By the battle's end, Neo and Trinity are calm and collected as ever, but we're still freaking out over how ridiculously cool their shootout was.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.